Look closely at the Breitling Navitimer dial, and you are staring at one of the most mathematically dense, intimidating interfaces ever attached to a wrist. When it was released in 1952, it was strictly a purpose-built analog flight computer. It carried the official endorsement of the Aircraft Owners and Pilots Association, serving as a vital instrument for mid-century aviators. Decades before GPS navigation, pilots relied entirely on these mechanical tools to calculate the vital flight metrics necessary to survive their routes. While the exterior case silhouette remains static across 70 years, the mechanical engine inside has evolved through 3 distinct eras. This creates a hidden complexity. 2 watches can look nearly identical on the surface while operating with completely different internal architectures and power reserves. To navigate this, we need to map out how that intimidating slide rule actually works and decode the 3 major eras of Navitimer movements. Selecting a Navitimer is a direct decision between historical horological purity and modern, everyday reliability. We have to start with the most famous feature on the watch, the bidirectional rotating circular logarithmic slide rule. This animation shows the core function. By aligning numbers on the outer rotating ring with the fixed inner arrow scale, the watch turns complex calculations into simple visual alignment. Mastering this allowed pilots to instantly determine critical data like fuel consumption rates mid-flight. Executing these manual calculations relies entirely on the physical grip provided by the large, distinctively ridged outer bezel crown. But there is a direct physical trade-off. Rotating that bezel crown breaks the case's water seal. Because of this, the Navitimer is strictly limited to a 30-meter water resistance rating. The exact mechanical feature that makes the Navitimer a highly functional tool watch is what makes it uniquely vulnerable to everyday hazards. When evaluating the internal mechanics, we start with the golden era, spanning the 1950s through the 1980s. These models are powered by early engines like the Venus 178 and the legendary Valjoux 72. This comparison matrix breaks down the eras. For the vintage Valjoux 72, you get a manual wind, 18,000 beat per hour chronograph mechanism offering a 45-hour power reserve. The movement utilizes a highly engineered column wheel and horizontal clutch architecture, producing a deeply satisfying tactile click every time you push the chronograph buttons. That prestige comes with maintenance. You have to source increasingly scarce replacement parts and carefully protect the highly domed acrylic crystal from deep scratches. For a vintage look with less anxiety, look to the transition era, powered by Calibre 23 and 24. As the middle column shows, this era introduces practical upgrades, utilizing a modified Valjoux 7750 base to provide a robust automatic engine. The mechanical compromise is the architecture. The 7750 relies on a cam and lever system, lacking the revered crisp tactile feel of older column wheels. The transition era gives you the iconic Navitimer aesthetic at a lower price point, sacrificing the mechanical romance that defines top-tier collecting. To solve the compromises of previous eras, Breitling introduced their in-house Calibre 01 movement. The final column reveals a massive performance leap. Calibre 01 utilizes an automatic vertical clutch system, pushing the power reserve to a full 70 hours for weekend-proof reliability. It also adds modern armor. The movement guarantees strict COSC-certified accuracy, and the delicate acrylic is replaced by a highly scratch-resistant domed sapphire crystal. To accommodate this robust engineering, modern cases had to be scaled up, leaving you with a wider 22mm lug width compared to vintage models. That leaves 2 primary choices for wear: the prominently stitched leather pilot strap or the solid link rouleau bracelet. The Calibre 01 fixes decades of mechanical gripes and delivers true reliability, provided you are willing to pay the premium retail price. This decision tree flowchart maps out how to match a specific mechanical era directly to your tolerance for maintenance. If you are a horological purist, hunt for the Valjoux 72 on a leather strap. You accept the fragility of the acrylic and manual wind in exchange for ultimate collector prestige. If you want the look without the high costs, target the transition era Calibre 23 or 24. You get reliable automatic performance without paying the modern in-house premium.
If you plan to wear this watch every single day, invest in the modern B01 with Calibre 01 on a rouleau bracelet. You get maximum modern convenience, sapphire durability, and a 3-day power reserve. But there is a hard truth you must accept. Regardless of the era or price, the 30-meter water resistance makes this strictly an aviation instrument. It is never a vacation dive watch. By retaining the complex slide rule that defined its mid-century origins, the Navitimer remains a rare example of a purpose-built mechanical computer that refused to trade its identity for digital simplicity.